Hey folks, welcome to the channel here at Lucky Loon Outdoors. I figured since we're getting everything ready for the season, getting the campground up and running, of course digging my stuff out and getting excited for my trips, I'd figure why not give you a little review here on the Solo Stove Mesa XL. I've had it for a year, going into season 2. I've used it a lot, so I'd like to talk about my experiences so far with it. So let's get into it. Alright, so first I'm going to cover basically the components and then how I also carry it around. So this is my Solo Stove kit, 5-gallon bucket that I've got 1,000 of around here at the farm. And inside of it I've got my wood that I've already chopped up and ready to go. I've got the Solo Stove in its package. I've got some fire starters, link in the description. These things are freaking awesome. And then of course a lighter. And then what would a meat-eating, marshmallow-eating person be without some stainless steel skewers to cook on top of it? Because America, come on. So that's essentially what's going on inside this thing. So let's tear into that. I'm gonna throw this back in there. Don't need to look at that at the moment. So this is what it comes in. Obviously a little pouch, which is just fine. You can leave it on. If you put it upside down, so the opening's at the bottom, you can just like leave it outside in the weather and use it as like a grill cover basically. But I leave it in the bucket in my garage, so whatever. Also makes it easier when you're going camping and whatnot. Or if you're like me and have like a cruddy pontoon or a cabin, you can just bring this thing out there and cook on the pontoon, like with hot dogs and stuff. Did that. That was fun. But let's take a look here. So carry bag, I'll throw that in there. Don't need it right now. Your ring and your stand. So it's really simple. Snap these guys out like so. Rubber side down. Put that on top of there. Put your ring on, restricts the airflow. That's it. That is it. Which is great. The smaller version of this, just the regular Mesa, has the ring, it has an interior components you got to pull out and clean and everything. This doesn't. It's all one piece. Meaning, when it comes time to cleaning it, all you got to do is this. Too easy, right? I know what you're thinking. Does the ash get stuck down in there because there is a gap between the grate and the bottom for the airflow? And no, it doesn't. Not unless you got it really wet or something. I haven't had any issue because it burns so clean and so hot that it gets really fine. So when it comes to cleaning it out, you literally just tap it upside down and the stuff comes out. I mean, you can even do it when it's hot. Just don't hold your hand down there. Just, tap it into a fire pit or somewhere that's safe to put it. Or in my case, right into the water off the boat. So that's that. Firing goes on there. Super simple. So one piece of information you might find interesting is we're at the cabin last year way north Minnesota, and we have a dock platform out there. We're all out there enjoying the summer, and I busted this little guy out, had the bucket with me. A bunch of hot dogs, of course the skewers in here, so we just lit it up on the floating platform. We're just cooking and having our hot dogs, and I went to dump the ash out, and right over the side of the platform went like this. So you can see what the problem is, huh? So I lost the ring at about 30 feet of water. Well, I contacted Solo Stove and told them my boneheaded mistake and how it was being used. And they said, well, that's interesting, essentially. And they just mailed me a new ring. No problem. I literally got it in 2 days. So great experience with their customer service, especially on something they really didn't have to replace. And they don't sell these online. They don't sell the components for this. Why would they? I mean, this is going to be one thing that you're going to lose, but good customer service there. Helped me out quite a bit. So let's get this thing fired up, shall we? So I'm going to just push this down here at the bottom. I'll grab some wood I got in here. I want that one. All right. That looks good. All right, so Bigfoot Bushcraft fire plugs. I have been using these for 2 years now, and Dork in the Road on the YouTubes is actually where I first saw them, because he was using them. And I used his discount code back in the day. And I love these things. They're about 20 cents-ish a piece. They're on sale most of the time. And look how small these things are. They're tiny. They weigh nothing. They're waterproof. I go in the Boundary Waters. Go camping all the time. You can shove them in any dead space. It's like they take up no space. They're great. Anyway, so I'm going to get these started. So a little boom. I'm going to throw 2 of these in there. I think they burn for like 5 minutes or so. It's like the burn time on them, which is way more than enough. I probably don't even need 2 of them. Well, I'll do a third one. Why not? I've got a lot of these things. And again, I got a link down in the description for it if you want it. I'll throw this back in the bag. I don't need that many. So all I'm doing is kind of getting them where I want it in here. And don't worry, you'll get a closer look here in a second. I'm just getting this ready. So it's pretty straightforward. You know what? Why don't I do that now? I'm going to grab the camera, bring it over so you can see as I build this. Let's take a look at it. All right, there we go. Better view, right? All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3 fire stars in there. It's probably a little excessive for this, but you know what? It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. So basically, I just put them in the middle. I'm just going to do kind of that little teepee effect. I'll leave one side open so I can get in there easy with the lighter and get it going. Now, once this thing gets going, it's going to light, and it'll burn really hot. It burns very hot. And there's a deer over here. Sorry, I can't show you. Yeah, I see you staring at me. Break that one open there. So it'll get pretty darn hot, and the flames will definitely come out pretty well. You'll know when it starts getting low on fuel because the flames will just die down. And it will require adding fuel decently often, but which is fine because you're sitting around it anyway on a tabletop or something. But yeah, I'll throw that one in there too. I'm going to turn this so you can just about see it. Okay. So let's just get this little guy lit. All you need is a little spark. Doesn't take much. You can use a ferro rod or use a lighter like I am. Oh, there she is. That's all she takes. Just gonna cover that back up there. Make my little teepee. Throw my excess wood back in the bucket. And there she goes. I'm going to let it just kind of go here. You're going to see it live. I'm not going to time-lapse this. Just like this, so you can see how fast that goes. Give you a different view here. Well, let me move it around to this side for you. It is a bit windy out here, so I do have safety precautions in place. Also, in my campground, there's a lot of snow where I'm currently at, so I'm not too worried. It also burns super clean, so I'm not worried about ash. So there you go. Like, literally, I did not need that many fire starters for this. But yeah, so again, I've had this for a year. This is going into my 2nd season with it. I use it all the time. You can see this discoloration up there on the ring. That isn't really from burning. That is from cooking hot dogs and steaks, like, what do you call it? Like kebabs. It's always fun. I'll bring that out. And I'll make a bunch of marinated meats, and you just take the skewers, you'll stab what you want, cook it over it, and eat it, obviously. And that's why there's all this discoloration. It's actually from doing that. It's not from burning. Although I'm sure it would discolor over time with just regular burns. Let me try to get you a better view here. There we go. It's better. And again, this is live. We're a couple minutes in, and it's already going fully. It'll continue to climb. If I had more wood over here with me, I could throw it in right now and just keep on feeding it. And again, it's very windy, so you're not seeing much flames to come out the top. It's blowing it pretty much straight to the side. So there she is. She's going pretty good. And again, I bought this on a whim because it looked kind of fun, like it'd be, fun to have on the deck, which it absolutely is. I would buy it again. I recommend it to my friends and family. And all it takes is to bust this thing out once, and throw some hot dogs or some marinated meats on little skewers and cooking around literally the dinner table on the deck. And they've all bought them. They're a fun little thing. It's big enough. It's big enough to where you can actually use it. The smaller version of this, I have zero interest in. Do not like it. You got to have too small of pieces of wood. Burns through it too quickly. Too many components. Too much of a pain in the butt. This one is the perfect size. It really is. It fits on the tabletop just fine. It has enough burn time where you're not constantly adding wood to it. And it burns very clean. Right now it's a little smoky because that piece sticking out the top. It's not a big deal. There we go. That'll clean it up a little bit. Cool off the knife. But yeah, I've had a really good experience. I recommend it to everybody if you're curious about this thing. And, you know, we're getting into the season for it now. You will not regret having this, especially getting it now while there's still time before we get into camping season and hanging out in the porch season. You'll get a lot of use out of it, especially with the ease of use. I mean, it requires almost no maintenance. You just dump the ashes out. And on ashes, that's another question I'll get and have gotten from people. You'll get about, let's see, feeding this thing a lot, like keeping it fed and using it I add a lot of wood. I would say it has to be dumped after about 3 hours worth of burning, somewhere in that vicinity. You got to dump it. And again, that's not a big deal. You can even do it when it's hot, so you can keep going. I don't really see people burning for 3 to 6 hours on their table anyway, but you can. I mean, it'll still burn, but you won't get as good a flow like this is. It's getting complete airflow. So, yeah, I love it. Everybody that I've recommended it to who's got one loves it. This is a fun little guy. Just don't lose the fire ring like I did in a lake. If you have an idea of how to make it so you do not make the mistake, let me know. Something that wouldn't interfere with it, like maybe a little tether or something, or maybe a magnet. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I might play around with that idea. But yeah, any questions? Let me know. Want me to review something else? Let me know. More than happy to. You know, get out there, explore the outdoors, stay safe, and have fun, everybody.